everyone, and welcome into the Week 10 NFL Sports Betting Show here on the channel. Davis Mattek and Rich Hribar with you. We are going to pick our 5 favorite games against the spread in Week 10. Let's find some winners. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. Football's feeling pretty back. Football is feeling pretty back after last night, Rich. 35, 34. Maybe a hot take. I liked the Bengals going for 2. Poor Chase Brown, man. Chase Brown fumbles in the breakout game. Not really like they have any alternative because Khalil Herbert also fumbled his very first ever touch. Did Herbert ever even get back in the game after fumbling that exchange from Burrow? I feel like I don't think he did. So it's all Chase Brown season. It's Lamar season. Mark Andrews is alive. Zay Flowers going 4 for 34 in that game. You could have shown me the final score of that game, and you could not have drug a 4 for 34 stat line out of me there. Kind of incredible.
And Lamar, I think in the first half, threw for like 4.8 yards per pass attempt. He still got there. It was so second half of that game was absolute fire. I mean, those teams, the 2 games they gave us this year were awesome. Hopefully, we'll get to see them again in the playoffs, but I don't know. The Bengals are pretty up against it in the AFC at this point, but it's crazy. The season that Burrow's had, and for them to kind of be out of it. And I think you heard him after the game, right? He is like, the way myself, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson are playing, for us to have this record is absolutely wild. But fun game for us to enjoy. A lot of player props were hit already last night. Chase Brown receiving yards, got there real early. We felt real good about that one. Hit a nice little touchdown parlay too last night. So we're out the gates here in week 10. God, week 10.
I had all the Chase ladders. I had Chase Brown reception ladder. Like, I was doing great, but I included Rashad Bateman under 2.5 receptions on a ton of mine. I even had the Andrews touchdown.
I mean, dude, what are you doing betting unders? Like, what are we doing?
It's Reeves, I'll never learn my lesson. This is always what happens. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a sharp sports bettor. I'm going to be sharp. I'm going to take a lower. I'm going to take an under. That's what the sharp people do, right? They take unders.
We're not here to be sharp. We're here to hang dong. That's all that matters.
We are here to hang dong. That's absolutely correct. And speaking of hanging dong, we are going to pick our 5
Who remembers your
games.
sharp under bet? What they remember is you hitting that 8-leg parlay.
They do. They remember laddering Jamar Chase up to a billion yards, which is what I did. Very close. All right, Reeves, we're gonna hang dong. We're gonna pick our 5 favorite games.
That first Chase touchdown was so bonkers.
It was so I couldn't believe it. That first Chase touchdown, I truly could not believe it. I was outside with my dogs watching on my phone, and I looked away for a second, and I looked back, and I was like, "What do you mean the Bengals scored? They were on their own 20. How did the Ravens already have the ball back? I couldn't." Really incredible stuff. Anyway, Reeves, it is on you. Pick your first game this week, your 5th favorite game against the spread.
I'm going to start with one that's mild confidence, but I bet this when they were underdogs, and now they're favorites. And it's the Jets, man, who we kind of dunk on a lot. We are kind of like we kind of treat Aaron Rodgers like a villain. We have for years. But I still think the Cardinals are like the most fraudulent good team in the NFL. I mean, they've only led for 28.5% of their snaps. It's the lowest of any team with the winning record. It's actually 20th in the NFL. The Jets, I just think from a matchup stance, really size up well with the Cardinals too. The Jets have faced one of the hardest passing schedules in the NFL, and it's about to really flip here at the back half of the season. And we saw in the second half them find a little bit of something with both Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. But I just think from a defensive stance, like the Arizona Cardinals put no pressure on the opposing quarterback. Rodgers is going to stand back there. We'll probably get a good Breece Hall game, which have been kind of, catawampus, like flipping back and forth. And this Jets pass defense is just going to have Drew Petzing's like uncreative pass design game in a bag. So I actually bet this when they were I money lined it when they were dogs, and now that they're favorites. I still feel good about it.
Yeah, look at this, dude. They opened as like legitimate dogs. That's crazy. Yeah, they opened as 2-point dogs. I mean, it got got bet very quickly, but that is crazy. I mean, obviously, I hate this one. Like,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you're Cardinals.
I'm Petzig pilled. I'm Kyler pilled. I'm anti-Rodgers pilled. I'm anti-Downing pilled. Now, I think you pretty clearly have the right side because there's just too much. Honestly, there is just like legitimate bias in the market because people don't like Aaron Rodgers. People like to laugh at the Jets. Like the Jets failing, LOL Jets, is like so mimetic. It's such a part of.
I also drop too most weeks.
Well, yeah. I mean, Adams is playing very well. Like he's kind of getting up to speed. Garrett Wilson is like finally trying, like finally paying attention to details on the football field. So that's pretty big. Yeah, Brees Hall, he's running fine. I would not take the Cardinals side, so I don't want to go against you, but I also would not take.
I'm actually surprised. I was waiting for you to have the Cardinals just for the anti-Rodgers.
No, this is a bad matchup for them. It's really not a good matchup.
You got the rest advantage, everything here is kind of.
Well, and they have the corner to throw on. They have the corner to throw on Marv. They got, I mean, Sauce Gardner obviously is not having a great year, but they've got a corner to throw on Marv. They've got the personnel to match up with. Arizona's been doing a ton of heavy personnel, so they've been doing a ton of 12 and 13 personnel. The Jets for sure have the personnel to match up with that, and like this is not going to be a boat race. You kind of want the Jets. You want to fade the Jets in a boat race spot, but this is not going to be a boat race spot. It is the opposite of that. All right, low confidence. So it is my number 5. But Reeves, I'm taking the New England footballing Patriots plus 6 points against the Chicago Bears. What have the Chicago Bears done to earn being a 6-point home favorite? I mean, truly, from your perspective, tell me how this line makes sense to you. I literally do not
winning
get
streak
it.
in the NFL. That you just need to cover though, and then Drake May's game, baby.
I guess. I mean, so
I'm
honestly,
not touching this game. I'm gonna play this game in DFS though because I hate myself.
I like the New England Patriots defense in DFS. So I'll tell you why I'm on the Patriots. So the first is obviously their defense. Their defense is good. They're not as good as like the Cleveland Browns, for example. But the reason why the Patriots don't have great defensive metrics is the offense has been putting them in brutal spots all year. They're climbing uphill the entire game. And I still maintain a lot of my pre-draft opinions about Caleb. I'm not out on Caleb. I'm not selling my Caleb stock. I'm not in none of that. But pretty clearly, what's happening with Caleb is going to benefit him in the long term and probably benefit the Bears organization in the long term. They are not doing paint by numbers. They're not saying, okay, here's your read, you make your throw. Like, it's all very difficult stuff. And he is not excelling at that right now. He really is not. Whereas May, it kind of just feels like they're doing backyard football with May. They're kind of just like, well, we're going to run the ball and we're going to run these really basic route concepts. And if no one's open, you have carte blanche to scramble, basically. And also, I mean, I don't love this type of analysis, Reeves, but Drake May is a fucking gamer, bro. Drake May is never dead. Drake, like that final drive against the Titans. I don't know how you could watch that final drive against the Titans and be like, I don't know, man, this kid has it. Like whatever it is, Drake May has it. I just feel like in his career, we're not going to see him as a touchdown dog against other mediocre teams all that often.
I mean, last week there were so many amazing plays of football plays. That Drake May touchdown. We obviously had the Garrett Wilson. We kicked it off on the Halloween night with Garrett Wilson with that ridiculous catch. Devontae Smith had that ridiculous touchdown. Saquon jumped over a dude backwards after doing two. He double tap circle and then jumped over a guy backwards.
That was
sick
incredible.
Ass plays. Yeah, a lot of real good football plays happened. I'm with you. I'm not touching this game, but there's no reason the Bears should be laying a touchdown to basically anyone given the state of their offensive line. But you're real cheap if you want to do something like Drake May, Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, Swift, pair these guys up, real gross stack. We have some fun, man.
Yeah. All right, that was my number 5. Reeves, what is your number 4?
This is where I have the Eagles only because it's a key number. with it being 7, but the Cowboys, I mean, this is the all-time bad vibes for the Cowboys right now. I mean, they've been outscored at home 119-53 so far this season. They are 24th in the league now in touchdown rate per drive. They are allowing more points per drive on defense than any other team outside of the Panthers. Only the Panthers are worse. And this Eagles defense is coming along. Obviously, Cooper Rush is going to be starting, and it's Cooper Rush in a different environment than where he was 2 years ago when he started those games for Dak, when they had a really good defense. They didn't really throw the ball, and they asked him to play caretaker. It's just real tough spot to see the Cowboys kind of, winning this game and really being kind of competitive. It's a division game, so maybe they get up for it, but this is where I've got the Eagles.
Yeah, this is my 2. This is sort of like an all-time spot where the Eagles are playing well and getting healthy. Barkley looks incredible. The Eagles are number 1 in the NFL in explosive play rate, so percentage of plays over 20 yards since their bye week. And I think that is almost sort of how you optimally want to play with Jalen Hurts. Like, you just kind of give them a chance to repeatedly make shot plays. Like, think in your head, like, oh, what does the Eagles offense, like a good Eagles offense look like? Well, it's not a bunch of 7-yard crossers and converting 3rd and shorts. It's Saquon Barkley off tackle, play action, AJ Brown shot, play action, Devonta Smith shot, Dallas Goedert 16-yard seam route, end around to Aeneas Smith or whatever shit you got to do. I think that Kellen Moore is kind of settled into what this team is personnel wise, and they're going to get Dallas Goedert back this week. Goedert has not been playing. My boy Calcaterra. I mean, they're undefeated with Calcaterra in the lineup, but Goedert is definitely, yeah. Goedert is definitely more.
I mean, we'll see. Because Devontae Smith hasn't practiced yet, but if Devontae,
he practiced yesterday. Didn't he?
It'll be the first time since week 1 they'll have everyone.
I think Devonta Smith practiced yesterday. Let me check real quick. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but it'll be the first time since week 1 they've had everybody.
So there we go. Yeah, Andrew DeSecco, after previous reports of Smith not being spotted at practice, the Eagles receiver was later spotted practicing with his teammates. Obviously, we'll learn more today at the Friday practice, but I think they're going to be full strength, and I think they are going to score a lot of points. The Cowboys, I mean, obviously, after the key number, you totally leave the back door is super open here at 7.5. But man, like I remember when Cooper Rush went 4-1 when Dak was out. Do you remember that? That was a real moment in time.
I was looking up some stats from that because their defense was obviously incredible. They were 31st in the NFL in drop back rate in those games. They basically just handed off, played defense, asked Cooper Rush not to F it up. And they don't have that. This Cowboys team doesn't have that luxury. Like,
exactly.
The defense is bad. They can't run the football. So it's like,
yeah, 100%. They cannot run. Like, Dowdle is like fine, but he's not a fine rusher. He's actually a bad rusher. You just kind of want to use him in the passing game. And like Dalvin Cook is going to be involved here. It's a really bad spot.
And the Eagles defense has played really well, out of the bye, and they haven't faced like a bunch of really good offenses, but they do have Burrow on that sample. And so
yes,
100%. We saw what those guys did last night. Still capable of being pretty good.
Still capable. All right, my number 4, and this is really just out of respect to CJ Stroud and to Nico Collins potentially playing, but I have the Detroit Footballing Lions minus 3.5 points on the road at the Texans. This is sort of, Reeves, this would be your classic nerds versus Vegas old school guy. This is a total spot where an old school sports bettor would never touch. Pass the key number on the road against a not terrible team. The Texans are certainly not bad. I definitely would not call them an elite team. No Diggs. We'll see if, Nico, it's Friday. Nico has not been
Sounds like he's not going to play.
Yeah, sounds like I think he's not going to play. If Nico did play, I'm not going to ask for my refund on this game or anything. But yeah, the Lions are just a fucking death machine, man. They are unbelievably good at running the ball. No Aiden Hutchinson, no problem. Basically just does not matter at all. I think Would it surprise you if the Lions won this game by like 10 plus, like by like multiple touchdowns? Really, not at all. They have no flaws. Even in games where you make Goff drop back 40 times, like they're getting Jameson Williams back in this game. It's just like it's just setting up to be a great spot for them.
Yeah, this is my one. And I've been trying to push the Lions on you for the whole season. I think they've been like my thing. I'm just gonna keep betting them until I start losing money on them. Them and Jahmyr Gibbs' longest rush. I just gonna bet every week, and we're just gonna see kind of what happens. 7-1 already against the spread this year to open the season. This matchup too, I think, sets up kind of well for them outside of, like you said, like the rest advantage stuff, being on the road. But they are number one in the NFL in first half point differential. The next closest team is 21 points away from them. The Texans also are 30th in the league in second half point differential. So when you marry those two things up, it's like Lions get out to a lead, and then the Texans never show up in the second half. And this offensive line for the Houston Texans is a problem. Stroud's been pressured on over 40% of his dropbacks in 3 straight games. Detroit's still 10th in pressure rate without Aiden Hutchinson, but now they add Zadarius Smith, and we'll see how much he plays even in this game. But then no Nico Collins, if he's not back, is just a big time loss for this offense. I mean, Stroud with Nico Collins on the field, 8.1 yards per pass attempt since the start of last season compared to 7.4 yards per pass them out. His completion rate goes from 67% to 58%. Last Thursday, targeting Tank Dell, 6 of 9, 14 yards per pass attempt. Pretty good. Targeting anyone else that wasn't Tank Dell, 5 of 21 for 3.1 yards per pass attempt. The other dudes are just jamokes. We always talk the ancillary jabronis. The Houston Texans have a bunch of ancillary jabronis.
I had forgotten, Reeves, until last week that John Mechie was the 44th overall pick in the National Football League draft. I mean, I know he's had a crazy career, like he literally had cancer, but does not look like Xavier Hutchinson, Cade Stover, and John Mechie are what the Texans need to revive their season. And this is with, by the way, getting like a 99th percentile season out of Joe Mixon. Like Mixon's been unbelievable in every game that he's been healthy in. They still got nothing. Like they just are not an effective football team. And I don't know anything about like their defense really. Like is their defense is there a big issue there? But I mean Ben Johnson is just cooking, dude. He's got David Montgomery throwing touchdown passes. Like this is a coronation season for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, we talked about it. I mean, obviously someone's going to have to beat the Chiefs. Like it's, the Chiefs are the Chiefs until they're not. But I mean, no one's playing better all around football than the Lions right now.
This is a good question. Neutral field. So I guess theoretical Super Bowl matchup. Who's favored with the data we have right now?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs. You think?
Yeah, man. That's what the Chiefs' favorites. Because I don't want to be put in a spot where I have to bet Mahomes as a dog against Dan Campbell. Like I don't want to be like this is conflicting. This is conflicting my betting principles, which are not sharp, by the way. We always have the caveat: we are not sharp bettors.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason this is a free YouTube show and not
you subscribe for these picks. Yeah, no, this is not that. My core principle is I always if Mahomes is a dog, I just auto click it and I just bet on Dan Campbell every week.
Man, Mahomes is the dog. Let's see. What is the Chiefs' schedule for the rest of the way? How many more?
It's easy. They might not lose.
Man. Oh, buddy. They
play the Bills. They do play
I was gonna say at the Bills, we're gonna get them as a 1-point dog at the Bills. I bet.
You think, man? I mean, the rest of the schedule. I mean, we do get that game against the Bills, but then do they lose? Do they have another shot at a loss? The rest of their schedule.
They play home to the Texans on December 21st. They might have the division wrapped by then. They might have clinched the division by that game. So how many games up are they in the division right now?
What are they favored 2 weeks from now against the Panthers?
Oh, that's a good. I mean, I bet we can find it. So right now in the AFC West. Yeah, they're going to have the division wrapped up by that game. They're going to have the division wrapped up.
So, I mean, they have notoriously rested dudes. Do you think that they'll rest people for a perfect? That's like kind of the only thing they don't have on their resume. Like,
no, if you are 15-0, 16-0, or whatever, you're no chance. Absolutely. Like Mahomes is too competitive of a player. He would not. He and Kelsey would would not allow that. So this is the most accurate shit.
It's every Chiefs game, right? Every fucking Chiefs game.
I forget his name. There is a Cooper FF. I forget his he's a Chiefs fan. And he tweeted this the other day. He got the exact scoreline right for Buccaneers Chiefs. He quote tweeted something about all the wide receiver injuries for the Buccaneers, and he said it'll be 23-16. There'll be a minute and 30 left. The Chiefs drive will stall out, and they'll punt the ball back to the Buccaneers with a chance to tie the game. And that's literally exactly what happened.
Yeah, right on it.
I don't know if this is accurate.
They're the ones that should have went for 2. I mean,
so I don't know if this is updated, but this is on 4 for 4.
Look at headlines.
This is the look ahead line. It's got Chiefs -7.5 at Carolina. I mean, I got to be honest. That's probably the correct line, but I don't know if that's updated and accurate. That's the thing. If they lose to the Bills, you better be ready for all of your Chiefs players to rest because they do not care. They don't care about going 15-2 versus 15 or 16-1. They don't care at all. Reeves, that was my 4. What is your 3?
My 3 is where I have the Bills.
Okay, this is my 1.
Okay, yeah, this is. I mean, the Colts have been kind of game at home. That's just the only reason I a little bit of respect. This is another one that's like through a key number, which you don't always love. But like I said, we're not sharp bettors. What are we doing? It's just vibes, and our vibes with Joe Flacco are what we thought that they would be. It turns out that Joe Flacco is not the answers to the Colts' problems. They had their worst offensive EPA performance of the season last week. They now have run 236 plays with Flacco on the field this season and average 5 yards per play. They have 286 plays with Anthony Richardson on the field, 5.8 yards per play on those. This Bills defense, I still have a lot of respect for what Sean McDermott's done all season. And going back to last year, too, just the amount of injuries they've had and guys in and out of the lineup, this is still...
Guys just, like, fall left and right. Like, every week, the Buffalo Bills defensive injury report is, like, there are 9 guys out, and it never matters. The defense always plays well.
Yeah, he does a lot of, like, game theory stuff that I definitely don't agree with, and it maybe the Bills fans, like, they might have a Super Bowl win if it wasn't for him, but they always get the defense play.
So he should not be a head coach. He doesn't have the stomach for it. I forget who I was talking about. Oh, Ron Stewart, I believe. I was talking about this with the other day. Sean McDermott is the best coach in the NFL. Like, his teams are always good. They're always ready to play. I wonder if he just, like, what would ever be the excuse for a Josh Allen offense looking disjointed? But they frequently do look relatively disjointed. He definitely should have been fired just for vibes after the 13-second game. It's kind of hard to not, like, you got to change something after that game, the 13-second game against the Chiefs. Like, I don't really get how you run that head coach back.
It's tough, but hey, listen, they're going to be there again this year. They always are. But sure. It's more of a bet of just where the state of the Colts right now, right? Like, it's just,
if you want to talk about vibes-based betting, we have the top 5 pick benched. Then we have conflicting reporting based on if the team even knew about it. We have conflicting reporting on if it was it Ballard's idea, was it Steichen's idea, was it Irsay's idea? Yep. Then we have now the press conferences are all who's going to start? Who's going to start? It's not, so this is not stale news. I knew this when I made this pick. They're not going to have any of their wide receivers. Keon Coleman's out.
They never have. They haven't had wide receivers.
What does it matter? What does it matter? It literally does not matter. And in fact, I think you could make a directionally accurate vibes-based argument that you might like Josh Allen a little bit more because he runs, and he is a great runner. When the team needs him in these spots, he is a fantastic runner. And it's just all, it's all in the dome. Everything.
They scored 30 or more points in 3 straight games, basically without Amari Cooper, playing 23 routes over that span. And if they could score 30 against the Colts, are the Colts getting to, they'd have to get 27?
Now I do kind of like Flacco and Josh Downs in DFS because I think
I do
we could,
Downs
yeah.
still.
I mean, we could see like 40 pass attempts in this game. Michael Pittman Jr. is banged up. Another thing is that Jonathan Taylor has been brutally bad with Flacco in the lineup, and like part
Which
of that
makes
is
sense,
like,
you know,
it makes total sense. Now, part of it has been like game state stuff. They've been down in the game. Well, Windhorst, why have they been down in the games that Joe Flacco has started? But it makes total sense. So I just I look at the Colts and I'm like, well, the defense is bad. I don't expect the offense to play well. I think the Bills are like, I don't know, the fourth best team in the NFL or something. So the Buffalo Bills are my number one selection. So I only have one pick left. So we have your two and your one, and then I can't remember the order.
No, my one was the Lions.
Okay, so we have your two. Then we have your two and my two left.
Yeah, my two is the 49ers.
The 49ers, interesting. Okay, talk me into it.
I mean, this one is kind of like does have some spot implications. I mean, you got teams historically, like one of the Ray Summerlin always put me on this years ago when I worked at Roto World. But teams that go to overtime and if they play on the road on Monday night, like are historically terrible the week after.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and we're getting the 49ers off of a bye. We're getting Christian McCaffrey back. Like the whole this has like the run. So the 49ers, ironically, have actually had a week 9 bye 3 years in a row. And the previous 2 years, they've just come out and been dominant. They had a 11-game win streak and a 6-game win streak coming out of the bye. Obviously, last year when they came out of the bye, they absolutely went on the road and demolished the Jaguars. I think it was 34-3 or something. People were kind of excited about that game, and it was never close. The Buccaneers defense is absolutely terrible. I do give their Liam Cohen a lot of credit. Him and Baker, they're the Wolverine team, right? They just find a way. But I still think the 49ers, because where McCaffrey really helps them is they've been awesome still getting to the red zone, but they're 28th in the NFL in red zone conversion rate. And that's where McCaffrey, I think, makes the biggest, impact coming back, is he helps them convert a lot of these red zone trips now into touchdowns. And yeah, so this one actually is not through the key number 2, which I do like.
Yes. So I agree with all of that in general. I am, man, this one probably should have been on my list. I didn't really think about the spot implications. I do think McMillan is going to play in this game, which is say whatever you want about him. It is an upgrade from Raheem Jarrett and Ryan Miller. Honestly, the big reason why I wouldn't be that into it is the Wolverine stuff. It's I've counted the Buccaneers out 5 times already this year, and they never die.
They're clawing back.
Liam Cohen is cooking. Baker is super cooking. Baker is, man, where would you rank Baker right now amongst NFL quarterbacks? He's been unbelievable. Just performance this season, or I don't know, MVP odds or offensive player of the year or whatever.
Not award worthy probably.
Yeah. This is about right. 11th in EPA plus CPOE composite. Whereas
he's had a lot of turnovers recently. The last couple weeks, he's had a lot more turnovers.
Wow, dude, he is 4th in adjusted EPA per play. That's crazy. No, 6th. Purdy versus Mayfield. I mean, Purdy is all. That's the other thing. Purdy is playing awesome this year. And
out of structure, Purdy too, with the amount of injuries that they've had, and that's the thing too. This Bucs defense is so bad right now. I think they're allowing 34 points a game or something the last month. It's not good.
Who is your favorite?
I mean, they woke up the Chiefs offense.
It's true. Who's your favorite 49er for DFS? McCaffrey, Debo. Yeah, it's Debo. It's Debo for sure. So he's 6,900 on DraftKings. It's all set up to be a shipper. All right, this will be a fun little game. Reeves, do you think you can guess who my unspoken team is? I don't know if you're gonna get it.
No, just hit me. I'm not even gonna play the guess. I'm not even gonna entertain
the Minnesota Vikings, who you can get depending. Well, I guess there is. It's so funny.
They took this down for a minute. I don't know if did they repost it?
Well, yeah, Lawrence is not playing, so they had to.
It opened at 4. What is it now?
It's at you can get it at 6.5 minus 107, and on some of these, unabated shows all the random sports books. I do not have a matchbook account, but at DraftKings you can get it at -7, -108. At FanDuel you can get it -6.5, -120. Looks like Bet Online you can get a slightly better price. I think any of these are fine. I mean, get the best price you can. Definitely don't buy a point. I can't think
another good vibes team, the Jaguars. Very good vibes.
I cannot think of a worse spot to throw Mac Jones in than a late week spot start against a Brian Flores defense with Christian Kirk out. Like, sure, he's got Ingram. They're like, I don't know, man. Can we be done with the Doug Peterson experience? He doesn't want to coach this team. It's
no,
just
you make him finish it. You just make him just go the rest of the year.
Dude, I guess it's like you catch kids smoking cigarettes and you make them finish the pack. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
You hired Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson created this mess. Who's the the offensive coordinator is Zach Taylor's idiot brother.
Yeah, Press Taylor.
Yeah, Press. Although I do want to give Mr. Taylor some credit. He seems to have learned. He went woke. They went, how many times they go for it on 4th down yesterday? Like 7 times. They went for 2 at the end there. I was pleasantly surprised by all of that from him. But basically, Vikings are playing great. The Jaguars are like, I don't know, the 3rd worst defense in the NFL. The mistakes that Darnold makes are mostly related to taking sacks. Like, if you look at the interceptions that he throws, it's him trying not to get sacked, and the Jaguars are not going to pressure him. There's going to be no pressure. It's going to be like Justin Jefferson's going to get 80 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Like, that's just obviously going to happen. And then Aaron Jones and frickin' Cam Akers are going to lean on them in the second half. KOC cooking. The Jaguars are just doing the opposite. Do you like this game for daily fantasy, or do you think the Jaguars are so bad they can't push them at all?
No, I think they're capable at least giving us. You don't have to. It's funny is I do like a stacks column this week or every week, and this week I'm not even doing like game stacks. It's like team stacks. Like
team stacks.
I think when you look at some of these spots, like you don't have to bring backs. Like if you're playing a 49er stack, I don't think you need a Buccaneer. I think if you have a Viking stack, I don't think you need a Jaguar. At least the Jaguars have some competent players too. But like, I'm trying to think, like if you have Eagle stack, like you don't need a Cowboy.
Oh, you do not. You definitely do not need a Cowboy.
I think even the Jets, right? Because I think Jet stacks are live this week too, and I don't even think you need a Cardinal.
No, you don't need a Cardinal. I mean, you definitely could use a Cardinal. I wonder, did we
skip
just
McBride, right?
Did we skip any interesting game? I mean, I guess we skipped the Monday Night Football game. Could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I didn't for like a DFS, slate. But that would be the one you wish was on the slate. And thank God last night wasn't on the slate, because we all be like, oh, if you didn't have the stack, you were cooked.
That's so true. And they would have been super popular also.
Yeah. That game would have been massively owned. And with no Higgins, it would have been Jamar Chase would have been crazily owned again, and you would all got there. Yeah.
Jermaine Burton, by the way, did play a lot. He only got I think 2 targets, but he did maybe Jermaine Burton is happening.
I mean, Yosevich just can't get open, dude. Like he's a tight end.
I mean, they thought he was Collinsworth, or maybe it wasn't one of the guys thought he was a tight end. They threw a pass to him, and then the announcer was like, and they threw it to Tanner Hudson, and then they realized that it was Yoshi Boss.
I mean, that's what's egregious about the game last night. If you're a Ravens fan, it's like you have one guy to defend.
I want to see how much Burton played. Oh, the data is not uploaded yet. Wait, maybe it is. Jermaine Burton last night, 53% of the routes, 16% targets per route run, 10% of the targets, 19 ADOT. I mean, yeah. But look, the tight end numbers are insane. Look at how many routes all the tight ends ran.
Yeah, they rotate them in different sets. So I mean, Hudson just took over the Eric all 12 personnel stuff.
Yeah,
and Gesicki only really plays in 11 personnel because he's a slot receiver.
Yeah, which is like always kind of the role that he should have been. Remember when he wanted?
And they play, and it's a team that plays a lot of 11 personnel. That's why he's always around like 60%. Like like 60% dropback rate.
Yeah. All right. What are your big DFS angles this week? You got a cheapie for us? Who's your favorite running back? What do you got for us, man?
Yeah, tight week this week. Pricing's tight.
Crazy tight.
And sometimes when we record this, we get off, and then like Tyrone Tracy's the starter or something.
Right.
So maybe we'll get one of those. I don't know if there is one of those this week though. So pricing's pretty tight. I think it's probably a pay up for running back. Just play cheaper receivers and hope that you can get there. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. But a lot of good running back plays, at least if you can afford them. I mean, you obviously have Breece Hall. You can keep playing Kamara. Barkley's in a great spot. Barkley's never owned either because he's so expensive.
He's never owned. Yeah.
He's so expensive. But those guys, DeAndre Swift looks to be in a good spot. Big home favorite. If you wanted, like I said, if you wanted to play like your gross stack that's not expensive, you could do like the May, Hunter Henry, Demario Douglas, DeAndre Swift, and you have money for like to throw a bullet at, fitting in a Breece Hall or Saquon or Jefferson or high price wide receiver. But it's really tight. Like I have not found a lineup that like I feel is like good about, right? Like the lineups I've set is just like, ooh, I don't really like that play. But I think that's just what the slate is going to be. Everyone's going to have a couple of those guys this week, I think, in their lineups. I do like Noah Brown this week as the cheap guy.
Noah Brown.
That kind of unlocks us. And I've been anti Noah Brown for most of the season because he wasn't getting the routes. Like he's had a couple games where he's popped up and had a high target share, but then he wasn't running routes. But he's running a lot of routes now, over 75% the past 2 weeks. But what I like about it is his from like the pay down perspective is the Steelers are number one against wide receiver ones this year in fantasy points allowed. And that's pushed some stuff to the wide receiver twos. Guys like Jalen Tolbert, Josh Reynolds, Darius Slayton, Josh Downs have all had good fantasy games against the Steelers, while they've been really good against wide receiver ones in those games like Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb. So like, I do think at his price, he's kind of the most appealing. I think a lot of people are going to get the Hopkins because of just where he's priced and being grandfathered in.
He's a lot.
He's going to be the highest owned receiver on the slate. It's trending towards on both sites because of the Monday night pricing.
Monday night.
So it's a tough week though. Pricing's tight. Well, so I think it's gonna be creative. I think this week I'm actually leaning towards not playing much cash because of that, but just throw in some stacks and see where we get.
I haven't even run the optimal yet. Let's just do that. We can do that live site? On air on DraftKings. Let's just run it and see what we can find. All right, here we go. Optimize one lineup. The optimal right now is Brock Purdy, Aaron Jones, Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel, Josh Downs, DeAndre Hopkins, Taysom Hill, Zach Ertz, and the Bears defense. That was what. So that's what's going to come through this week. Is double tight end is going to be super popular, super common, because basically tight ends don't get priced all the way up, more or less. Like they're priced like wide receiver fours, even though they're not. Like Zach Ertz is less than De'Ami Brown. You know what I mean? I don't know if I will do this though. I wonder if it might make sense to not do Deebo and do, I don't know. Is there even another wide receiver you could play
in that price range that you feel great about?
It would be like McLeod and James Conner. Yeah, that's what it would be. It would be, and I do really like James Conner. I think James Conner is an awesome play.
For cash, he's fine, but tournaments, I mean, he hasn't been an RB1 since week 2.
Wow.
He's another guy that's just, I feel like and I think this season has been this way for DFS. I feel like there's just a group of guys that have been perpetually overpriced, like on DFS, and just like it's made it really restrictive to build lineups. And we've gotten some freebies late in weeks, but there's like this just group of guys like Connor being one of them. Like he's even when he's a sound play, he's priced in like this spot where it's like, why is he so expensive? Josh Downs is starting to be like that. Like, why is Josh Downs priced the way he is?
Right.
Like, I don't like. There's just so many of these guys that are priced. Like Stephon Diggs was that way. Like, I was like, why is Stephon Diggs this price? Like, what the hell are we doing?
You could play Shakir in cash with all these dudes out absolutely. Instead of James Conner. All right, Reeves.
But even what is Shakir? like 56.
6,000. No, he's 6,000.
He's 6,000.
Yeah, they bumped it. They bumped him up. All right,
I just
Reeves.
feel like those tertiary guys, like for fantasy purposes, are all priced just a little bit higher, and it makes it harder to build lineups this year because of those guys.
It does. It definitely does. I laddered the Jamar Chase last night. All right, Reeves, it's time, brother. We got to
Tyreek's my ladder play for the rest of the week, dude, for sure.
All right, well, there we go. We can begin. We are going to build our all overs.
Monday is the Tyreek game. It's happening.
How high do you want to ladder him?
What's the multiplier? What do we get?
We did
this with Jefferson last week,
and he got there. Yeah, and he got there.
We're not gonna do. We don't have to do 129. You just do him getting to the 100.
1.68x for Tyreek Hill to get there.
Too much fun.
All right, I'm gonna do Josh. Well, what is Shakir actually? I wonder how much. Oh yeah, let's do Shakir to get to 69.5. Do you like that?
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, Reeves, you can. My brand new computer, man. It is just this Underdog screen used to be glitchy for me, and now it's just clicking around. So beautiful. All right, who do you want me to look up next?
The previous rig.
6 years since early 2019. So long time. It was time to go. It was time to lay her to rest. Okay, who do you want me to look up next?
What can we do for Debo?
Oh, there are plenty that we can do for Mr. Samuel. We could do touchdown. We could do
those yards. Hammer those yards, man.
I'll do 59.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, just bump it up. Yeah, bump it up just to get because what was betting him over 57.5 anyways compared
dead evens. Yeah. No, so it's a good idea. All right. We did Shakir. What do we have for Mr. Downs? Do you like longest reception?
What the hell? How does Downs is 10 more yards than Debo Samuel?
I know.
What are we doing?
Let's do 69.5 for Downs.
What the hell, man?
I know, it's crazy. It's a cold world out here, man.
We're not even allowed to enjoy Josh Downs. They're not even allowed.
No. All right, that is 4. Who do you want to look up next?
What do we need? A running back prop. I mean, do we have the Jahmyr Gibbs longest rush? Should we start including it? Should we just start
yes, every week. Let's see. Is it there? More picks. Longest rush, 15.5. Yeah. There we go.
Buddy, we've already bet that I told you I bet every time the line opens, I bet this longest rush until it starts to get crazy.
He got it on a touchdown last week. So that's pretty cool to get it on a touchdown.
Did you see since someone since we brought it up, did someone tag us? Didn't someone tag us? They might have tagged just me.
Oh yeah.
It's official because I was a little bit flippant about the actual odds it's hit, but it's actually hit 19 of 26 career games.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and it's lower this week than it was last week, probably because he got lower.
Well, probably because it gets bet.
Volume.
Sometimes it gets bet early in the week and we hit it, but it gets other people will get on it. But it's funny is they haven't really upped it. Like 15.5 is really as high as it's gotten. It should be like literally like 17.5, 18.5.
Can I sell you on a Kareem Hunt rushing touchdown?
I mean, he gets there every week. He's
there.
Literally the Aaron Paul meme.
Yeah, he can't keep getting away with it, but he is going to keep getting away with it. All right, that's already 6, brother.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we got Tyreek, Shakir, Debo, Downs, Gibbs, longest rush, Kareem Hunt, touchdown. Where do you want to go? Now? You definitely could sub out if you want a little bit less volatility. You could sub out touchdown for rushing attempts. I'm not going to, but you certainly could if you want.
Yeah, we had a couple of those last week. We had a Kamara rushing attempts last week, and easily blew past that.
Yes, he did.
One. We have no. Hunt's the only running back. Well, no, we did Gibbs too, so we got some guys mixed in here.
We could do. What do we got? What's Pollard's got? 14.5 longest rush, 63.5 rushing yards. I don't
Is there
love
anything
either
for
of
Noah
those.
Brown? Is there anything fun for Noah Brown?
There'll be a touchdown for Noah Brown.
That's
Yeah,
it though. Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
I don't want that either. Yeah. Maybe we did Debo already. We did. Oh, Justin Jefferson, ladder, 99.5 receiving yards, right?
What was his line set at?
96.5. Wow. Imagine waking up and feeling that way. You have Burrow and Chase in your home league. I am going against one Mr. Joseph Arborough and Jamar Chase in. Oh, all right, here we go. We need to help. Well, let's finish this. JJ, we will get to you in a second, and then we will get out of here. Reeves, I took Justin Jefferson receiving yards. You have to do our final leg here. Drake May 0.74x to get a passing touchdown.
Now let's see. Who do we want? We got to do one last one.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say Garrett Wilson because I already bet his
receptions.
I bet his yardage too already.
79.5. Let's see. This might be too many multipliers. Nope. All right, there we go. Bang. Oh, I cannot put more than $9. I can only put $9 in. All right, there we go, everyone. We've got the big entry. It's beautiful. I will go ahead and put that in chat. I will put that in the description. All right, we need to help Mr. JJ with a hedge. Remaining legs. DeAndre Swift to score a touchdown. Bo Nix under 210 passing yards. How would you hedge out of that? Have a $100 entry to win 1,860 remaining legs. That is too many legs for me to try and hedge out of you. But I can help you do this. I would say a good way to hedge out there, I would probably do... What I would do, JJ, is I would do 2 individual flexed entries, just fading those. So I would do Swift not to score, Bo Nix higher passing yards, and another leg you like with a flexed entry. That is probably what I would do. Do you have any thoughts?
I was telling a story from 2 weeks ago on National Tight End Day. I had a buddy that had a tight end touchdown parlay boosted up for fun, and it was for $29,000. His first 3 tight ends score at 1:00. It was K-Dot and David Njoku and Sam Laporta. He had George Kittle left, who didn't play till Sunday night. They offered him only $8K to cash out on a 20, and Kittle had 45% implied odds to score a touchdown, and they were only offering him $8K on a $30K payout, just under $30K. And I told him to go to DraftKings. They offered no touchdown bet on George Kittle. He could just max it. He was able to put 5,000 on it and to get hit. So that would have got him back to 8K, basically what he made the bet.
So he was either winning.
Yes,
no
he was going
money,
to get the payout that they offered if George Kittle didn't score,
or get his money back,
or win the 30K. And yeah, he was going to win money regardless, basically.
Right.
But you know, they offer you such terrible things. But yeah, definitely on those individual ones, you want to go and try to bet like the no touchdown and stuff like that. But I wouldn't parlay those. Like I would do individuals on those because
he's in a pick 'em only state. He's like me. So the only way to get it, I mean, you could, if it was a lot of money, if you were really sweating it, you could go drive, or if you really wanted to hedge out of it, you'd have your friend bet it for you. You'd call your friend who lives in Kentucky or whatever, and hedge out. In general, this is my advice on hedging, though. Don't do it unless it's life-changing money.
Right.
Yeah. Like if it's super important to you, you can hedge out, but yeah, there's no reason to be nervous about that. There's nothing illegal about having your friend place a wager for you. Like you could just do that. Like if you're about to win, I guess if you're about to win 10,000 and you need those 2 legs, you could do, I mean, I would probably set it up to just so that you couldn't lose money.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just individually betting the Swift anytime
Swift.
touchdown in the opposite direction. No, this would be no touchdown, and then
Yeah.
the Knicks over
passing yards. Yeah. I'm
not parlaying those. I'm gonna bet them just separately.
Yeah. There's really on Underdog, the way the parlays work, the permutations get so.
Oh yeah. See, I can't do those.
Yeah,
I'm actually grateful I can't do this shit that we're doing.
I mean, imagine if you could just get on your phone and fire an 8-leg anytime touchdown parlay that easy. Yeah.
Is it like Prize Picks? Do you get something if like 6 of 8 hit? Do you get like a percentage?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Works the same way. Yes. Yeah. That JJ, that would be my advice to you. I would say this is my official advice to you. If you really are trying to hedge out and you're worried about it, I would do the opposite of your 2 legs with a 3rd leg you like for like $100 flexed. That is what I would do. That is what I would do. That's my official advice. All right, Reeves, you have got to get out of here in a little bit. I am about to start doing the Pick'em show with Nez using the old unabated tools. Tell the people what you guys got going on over at Sharp Football. Oh no. Did my connection go out? I think Reeves' connection just went out. Or maybe, oh, there we go. Rich just texted me that a huge transformer in his neighborhood just blew. Not ideal. Not ideal to have a huge transformer in your neighborhood just blow. Really, really, really not what you want. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I will be back in about 6 minutes with one Mr. Nez from the Badge Bros, where we are going to do our unabated Pick'em show. If you guys are watching this on replay, please comment below your favorite pick against the spread this week. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Consider checking out those tools I was using. Consider checking out Unabated. You can use the promo code Davis to get a little hookup when you sign up over there. And yeah, I'll be back with all of you guys in about 5 minutes. Take it easy. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.